In the beginning, there was no Earth, only chaos, drifting in the silence of the cosmos. Imagine an endless dark space, filled with swirling dust and vast glowing clouds of gas. Countless stars flicker in the immense distance, tiny points of light in an ocean of nothingness. This was the universe before our world, a silent, swirling void waiting for a story to begin. The raw materials of everything we know floated aimlessly, a cosmic soup of possibility. Before time had a meaning, before there was a here or a there for us, there was only this profound, quiet emptiness, pregnant with the potential for creation. The stage was set, though there were no actors yet and no audience to witness the grand play that was about to unfold. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, a change began. In one corner of this vast emptiness, gravity, the invisible architect of the universe, started to pull these scattered particles together. A cloud of gas and dust, larger than our entire solar system, began to collapse inward on itself. As it compressed, the pressure and temperature at its core skyrocketed. A golden light started to bloom from deep within the swirling nebula, a beacon in the cosmic dark. Then, 4.6 billion years ago, a new light was born, our sun. A brilliant, staggering explosion of light and energy erupted outwards, banishing the darkness and illuminating the void for billions of miles around. In that single glorious moment, the heart of our solar system began to beat, and a new era of creation was ignited. Around this newborn star, leftover particles of dust and rock began to orbit, caught in its powerful gravitational pull. They glowed with the intense heat of the young sun, a swirling disk of cosmic debris. This was no gentle dance. It was a violent, chaotic ballet. From endless collisions and fire, the foundations of a world began to form. Asteroids, some as large as mountains, smashed into each other with unimaginable force. Instead of shattering, the intense heat of these impacts melted them, fusing rock and metal together. Bit by bit, piece by piece, these fragments clumped together, growing larger and larger. Over millions of years, this cosmic demolition derby built something new. A glowing sphere of magma began to take shape, the early Earth, a world forged in violence and celestial fire. The young Earth was a world of fire. It was a hellish, unrecognizable place, a blazing molten planet with rivers of lava flowing across its entire surface. There was no solid ground to stand on, only a roiling ocean of magma thousands of miles deep. The chaos wasn't over. Meteorites, remnants from the solar system's formation, continued to rain down, constantly bombarding the planet's fiery surface. Each impact sent spectacular splashes of molten rock flying across space. Above the sky was a toxic orange haze of poisonous gases, and massive bolts of lightning cracked through the thick alien atmosphere. The young Earth was alive, but it was a life of pure destruction and relentless storms, a truly primordial inferno. But even in this inferno, change was constant. As the relentless bombardment from space slowed, the planet finally had a chance to breathe. As the chaos subsided, Earth began to cool. The heat from its molten surface radiated out into the cold of space. Slowly, like a thin sheet of ice on a pond, the first crust began to form on the surface of the magma oceans. It was fragile, constantly being broken and reformed by volcanic eruptions that spewed even more gas and steam into the sky. This steam, along with gases released from the cooling rock, created the first real atmosphere. It was thick, heavy, and unbreathable, but it wrapped the planet in a blanket of swirling clouds, and the air began to change. Then came the greatest transformation of all. From fire came water. As the planet continued to cool, the immense amount of water vapor in the atmosphere began to condense. The sky darkened with massive planet-wide storms, and then it began to rain. Not for a day or a week, but for millions of years. An unending global deluge fell from the heavens, cooling the hot surface. Rivers of lava hissed and hardened into black volcanic rock. The low-lying basins and craters, carved out by ancient impacts, began to fill. From this destruction, the first oceans were born, the cradle of all life. The planet that was once a ball of fire was now becoming a world of water, a serene blue oasis shimmering under the light of the distant sun. The violent birth was over. The planet stabilized, the storms calmed, and the rain finally ceased. Earth entered a new phase of its existence, a period of tranquility after the cosmic storm of its creation. Its new surface of dark rock and vast blue oceans glowed gently under the light of a young, warm sun. From an unimaginable distance, our planet would have looked like a beautiful blue marble, a beacon of order and peace surrounded by the endless black of space. From chaos came order. From fire came water. From destruction came life's first promise. This was the dawn of Earth, a world finally ready for the next, most incredible chapter of its story to begin. And this is the beginning of our story. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey back in time. Imagine a world born from fire and chaos. 4.5 billion years ago, our Earth was an incandescent sphere, a hellscape of molten rock under constant bombardment from space. But as the cosmic barrage subsided, the planet began its slow, arduous journey of cooling. And in this cooling, something impossible was about to happen. From the ashes of this primordial world, the first raindrops began to fall. This wasn't a brief shower or a passing storm. This was a deluge of epic proportions, a relentless downpour that would last for millions of years. Can you picture it? A torrential rain, day and night, century after century, relentlessly battering the cooling crust of a newborn world. Each drop falling from the sky was more than just water. It was a time capsule. These droplets carried the memory of ancient comets, icy messengers that had journeyed from the farthest, coldest reaches of our solar system. For eons, these comets had collided with Earth, delivering their precious cargo. They brought not just water, the very substance that would one day fill our oceans, but also the essential seeds of chemistry: carbon, nitrogen, complex organic compounds, the fundamental building blocks that would one day assemble into the intricate machinery of life. Watch as this cosmic rain meets the superheated rock. Steam erupts in colossal plumes, hissing and rising to form vast, churning clouds that blanket the entire planet. Thunderous storms, larger than any we could imagine today, rage across the sky. The young Earth is a world of violent contrasts: fire and water, steam and rock, all locked in a dramatic, world-shaping dance. It's a process of creation on a scale that defies human comprehension. Slowly, painstakingly, the surface began to transform. As the rain continued, the water needed somewhere to go. It started as small puddles in the cracked volcanic landscape. These puddles grew into ponds, the ponds merged into lakes, and the lakes swelled into vast, shallow seas. Rivers began to carve their first paths through the virgin rock, etching deep canyons and wide valleys. Over millennia, these valleys filled, and the separate bodies of water coalesced, expanding and merging until they formed the first global ocean. The Earth, once a blazing world of fire, was now being wrapped in a shimmering, planet-wide veil of blue. For the first time, our world had a visible, liquid surface. It was a pivotal moment. The planet had taken its first deep, watery breath, setting the stage for everything that was to come. This new ocean was not the tranquil blue we know today. It was likely an iron-rich, olive-green color under a thick, hazy sky. But it was here. It was real. But the transformation wasn't just on the surface. The very air was changing. As the planet's interior continued to churn with furious energy, volcanoes erupted with unimaginable force, both on land and beneath the newly formed seas. These eruptions didn't just spew lava, they spewed colossal amounts of gas into the sky. The early atmosphere was a toxic cocktail of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water vapor, and sulfur compounds. This dense blanket of gases created a powerful greenhouse effect, trapping warmth from the sun. It was this atmospheric blanket that prevented the new oceans from freezing solid, stabilizing the planet's climate in a delicate, precarious balance. There was no oxygen yet, not a single breath of it. The air would have been utterly unbreathable, the sky a strange alien color. The world existed in a restless equilibrium between chaos and creation, a pressure cooker setting the stage for the next great act. Now let's descend beneath the waves of this primeval ocean. It's a journey into an alien abyss. The sunlight, struggling to pierce the thick clouds above, barely penetrates the surface. The depths are a realm of darkness, pressure, and extreme temperatures, but it is not a dead realm. Here, at the bottom of the sea, the planet's inner fire meets the water. Hydrothermal vents, like deep-sea chimneys, spew out a superheated mineral-rich soup from the Earth's mantle. This is where the real magic begins. These vents are crucibles of chemistry. The intense heat and pressure combined with a rich broth of dissolved minerals like iron and sulfur, created a unique environment. Here, in the crushing darkness, the fundamental elements of the cosmos began to dance. They combined, broke apart, and recombined into ever more complex molecules. Amino acids, lipids, the very first whispers of life, were being assembled molecule by molecule in this deep-sea laboratory. Think about the odds. Against a backdrop of cosmic violence and geological chaos, the young Earth had found a fragile stability. The relentless bombardment from space had eased. The planet-drenching storms began to subside. The vast oceans, now rich with the chemical ingredients for life, shimmered beneath the first rays of sunlight that could finally pierce the cloudy veil. From the black void of space, our planet was no longer a glowing ember, but a radiant blue marble, a haven. And somewhere hidden in the warm, chemical-rich waters of its deep oceans, something truly extraordinary was about to begin. The stage was set, the ingredients were present, and the universe was holding its breath. Within these ancient, turbulent oceans, the first spark of life was waiting for its moment to ignite. It's the greatest mystery of all, the transition from non-living chemistry to living biology. In our next chapter, we will witness that first, incredible miracle, the dawn of life on Earth. Join us as we explore how the first cells emerged from the primordial soup and began a journey that would change our planet forever. If you were as fascinated by the birth of our world as we are, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss the next episode of our cosmic saga. We have so many more stories to tell.